Welcome to Games Overboard. I'm PJ.
Hey,
I'm Dan.
I'm Eric.
And
Hi.
yes, we're joined by Aric Lorton today.
Indeed.
Designer of Party Wanted. Excited to hear about this game.
I'm excited to tell you.
So we posted on Facebook asking for Kickstarter designers to come out, talk with us so we can help get your word out and we can hear about the story of a first time designer
developer
and just how the development has been and all that. So first off, tell us about yourself. What where you from, what you like to do, how'd you get into gaming?
What's your age,
so I'm originally
no, not that
I'm originally from Ohio. I've been pretty much a giant nerd for most of my life. Like I did sports and other stuff too,
Yep.
but it was like from a young age, man. Especially when I was younger, it was like CCGs and TCGs, like the old like Star Wars, Magic, Pokemon,
nice,
Wave. Yeah, but like that was before I had any money. So you go in there and you watch like 30-year-olds come in and buy booster boxes, and you're like, eat shit, I hate you so much. Like, you got like
you just
two packs from your allowance.
When the kids go, please sir, may I have some more?
Well, and that was one of the reasons I never got super big into Magic, is because I love the game, and I play it a lot now, but like it's entry to compete, you need a meta deck. Bottom line. And even back then, having a format system that gives you multiple copies of a card requires you to either buy singles, or half the stores back then they were just getting hip to like selling singles.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean? That was like 94. I was 10.
We didn't have a whole lot of that growing up where we are.
Yeah.
Until we were like, what?
I really wasn't
almost out of high school into college.
Yeah, I wasn't exposed to Magic until college for sure.
Yeah. So I was early, man. We got Star Wars was the big one because Star Wars had a much better like open system, and they had multiple locations that you would fight at, as opposed to Magic's basically you're fighting a person, location is irrelevant.
Yeah.
So you could make like these I still remember we made enough ultra jank that was so amazing. Like we had these super trash stormtrooper decks that were like, they had like 2 rares in them, right? And people would be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And then when they realized like it was too late, it's like, so we would, at least at a local level, we would force players to run like off meta cards to deal with our deck in the Star Wars. And that's what I really fell in love with, like the deck building elements. And you're like, okay, so you can make stuff that no one's ever seen, just because, and it doesn't have to be the best in a in a game like that. If no one expects it or no one has a counter for it, doesn't matter.
You've got it.
Yeah, you got it. Like that was my first intro to like, and I love comics, I love all that world of like creativity.
Yeah,
and that was pretty true until I got into like high school, and then I definitely got more into like partying. Like I started DJing, I was doing like bar photography, not during high school, but like all of it, like the tail end, late teens, early 20s. So it was like we would still do certain games, but it became more like drinking games, not necessarily frat style, but it was like we would take other like Beerio Kart. And I love seeing that now, because that was shit we used to do. Like shot stealing for Mario parties. Like every time someone would steal your star, you'd have to do a shot, and like the stuff like that, silly fun. And that was really where I was like, oh man, I love that kind of that mix, that crossbreed, where you can have like a party fun environment, and then you have the gaming element that you're still thinking about what you're doing. It's not just like, let's just rage and do nothing. No, it's like, man, let's have fun, in a thing that we enjoy.
Yeah.
So I did that for a bunch of years, moved out here for the filming purposes, did that all the way up until Rona hit. Hello.
Real life, we have children.
Oh, that's no worries.
I also gave up. He's upstairs with his siblings, and they're having milk and relaxing.
Oh, jeez. I thought I heard him up there.
Yeah, I gave up.
Nice. Yeah, I am also child-free, but I understand the struggle. I have plenty to do. I myself am way too much of a child to take care of another human. I'm like, nope, no, hard pass.
I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah, but so I had moved out here to do all that stuff. And then when Rona happened, basically film sets, which are already, it's just huge hours long stuff. And generally, if you're anywhere that doesn't matter in the crew, like they don't give a shit about you. You're just you're a body.
If you're not on camera, especially if you're not one of the big names
or a department lead, maybe,
right?
Like that might
nobody
get you,
cares.
But Yeah, nobody gives a shit. So it's like
I was a
very
lead
far away.
PA for a while,
I don't
so
like being
I know
on this
exactly
side.
how it feels.
Yeah. So it's like, all right, when they were still trying to film, but it's like, that was before there was any vaccines available, like things like that. And they're like, oh, yeah, same pay rate, but you have to wear insane safety gear. You're still going to be in 120-degree rooms for 18 hours, and you're wearing a mask and all that. And I was like, I'm not doing that, dude. Like,
Yeah.
no. Like, I'll write stuff. I'll go film, shoot some photos or do something in a small group, but like. Set work for me, I was like, I gotta find something else to do. And I was like, all right, what else have I always loved? It was like, man, gaming. I've always loved gaming, So all right, what like I was saying earlier, Magic, I love it, but they're a huge entry level to it. And then to keep the amount of cards they put out, while good for a game, obviously good for a company. Honestly, I think it's bad for players. Like to have every 4 months something like that come out, like it's. And they have so many bans and retractions because of the power creep that they have to do to keep the game. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, and people have boxes from like 10 years ago because cards in those boxes are now relevant because of some new card that came out that gives them power.
And not only that, but like once again, I understand from the collectible reasoning, like the reserve list and things like that. But it's like that 30th anniversary thing recently, I don't know if you guys saw, that was like the most tone deaf shit I have ever seen in my life. Like,
I heard a little bit about it, but not
very briefly. They had for $1,000 goddamn dollars, you would get 4 packs of
I did hear about
reprinted cards that weren't even tournament legal, that were from the OG sets. So you could get like the Power 9, all that, but like you couldn't use them.
No,
no.
You know
what I mean? And so many games like that, they have a high barrier to entry. And I was like, all right, I want something that's not like that. You know what I mean? First off, definitely, I want something where you buy it and you get it. You don't need boosters, no, microtransactions, none of that shit. It's like you have your game, you're done with it, right? That was like the first thing we knew we wanted to do. And then there was a bunch of other stuff, but the main thing for me is like I said, I love deck builders. The ability, like I absolutely love it. The replayability that you get from adding that to a game, for me at least, is like, if the game fundamentals are good, I can play that over and over. Like Slay the Spire, things like that are perfect examples of like, you start basic, it gets more complex, you know what I mean? But every run is unique, every run is different. But I was like, okay, that's sweet, but I didn't, and still there's very few games like that you play with your friends. Like deck building is usually either a versus scenario, or if they call it co-op, it's very wishy-washy. I don't know if you guys
like the Harry Potter one.
Well, and Slay the Spire just did their Kickstarter recently for their board game version.
That seemed a bit steep. I almost bought it, but that was a steep price.
So if you notice there, I was actually worried for a second. I had no idea they were developing that, and when I saw it, I was like, oh, because we've been we pushed back like a year to really make sure everything was kind of proper, and I was like, man, if there's like similarities, I was like, I'm screwed. Like, they're gonna be like, oh, this guy just
can't compete with that.
Yeah, but they do their combat, like each player basically has like a lane. So it's like you're fighting at the same time, but you're not fighting together.
Yeah,
right.
At least from what I get. I don't want to. That was just the Kickstarter. It wasn't all there. They didn't have a rule book, but it looked very much like each player is participating, but none of them are working together.
Yeah, and that's how I've noticed a lot of them too. You're right, where you have your own singular battles and nothing that you really join and like participate together.
Yeah,
when Shannon was looking at your rules, she made a good comparison from your game to an older one of Dungeon Fighter, where I don't know if you've played that one, but
I have not.
You're bouncing dice onto a target, and
it's that alone,
that alone when alcohol's in there is just fantastic. But you are all sharing the dice, so you're all talking to each other about what color dice you're going to throw because each color activates a different ability, and you're all fighting the same monster. And so when we saw how your game worked, we're like, oh, this sounds...
this
one.
Yeah,
this one.
So Shannon was just like, this sounds like Dungeon Fighter in that regard. And so
the comparison to that and like Munchkin. And I actually appreciate your card game because one thing that I can't stand that he loves, I hate the fact that you have to build boards sometimes, if that makes sense. I hate all the excess
setup
work.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of people do.
Yeah, so with him, if he's setting up Dungeon Fighter, y'all be there, you get it set up, and I'll show up because our kids love it. Eli, our oldest son, absolutely adores playing it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hilarious because he sucks at it so bad. The dice throwing, he always gets a practice throw like 3 or 4
Dude,
times.
that's how you know that's a hallmark of a great game when someone's bad at it and they still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's just the setup, and like then there's the dice aspect, and the more you drink, the more unsafe it is.
I have no idea what you guys are talking
The
about.
way this plays out, it's very group dependent. You can have, you know, we have some friends who don't curse as much or don't, you know,
Mhm.
get into, so like they've been much more PG but funny answers. And then there's other people that'll just go, you know, like a lot like Cards Against Humanity, where you get that spectrum of like the
yeah.
humor of the person that's doing it leads into it more.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the main focus was co-op, and all in one, like encompassing. So you buy it, you got it, you're good. And then we made this so there's just tons of interaction. Yeah, the example I used was Slay the Spire meets Munchkin meets Mario Party.
Actually, I
Yes.
said it was Dungeon Fighter meets Munchkin. That's
No,
what
but he said.
I know it's
No, no,
interesting. I was like,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's the comparison I made. Was like it was those two because Munchkin is just cards, you know.
Yep.
Actually, let me grab. I'll show you
I'm
the
sure
sign.
there's
Hold
a
on.
board, but
Oh
it's
boy,
mostly just cards.
this is gonna be good.
Is it going to be a big box? I wonder if it's 7 inches.
Looks bigger than 7 inches.
Oh my gosh, where's John?
Oh, look at that.
So, at LA Comic Con, because my dude ended up getting.
I love that.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was walking around, literally like, you know, signed up in the air. But it was hilarious because most people thought it was like something religious, but the people that did stop, they were all the ones that noticed like the quote, because that was like, all right, what do we, you know, if you have seconds to catch someone's attention, the best way to do it, and it's a complex idea, it's not like something simple. It's like the best way to do that is to use examples of things that have elements of what you had that people might be familiar with.
Right.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
this is like the 3 closest, like the Slay the Spire, the Munchkin, and the Mario Party. If
Yeah.
I have to, that I'm familiar with. I will check out Dungeon Fighter for sure though, because I've never heard of that.
It
But-
is. It's a trip. If you have friends who said like they'd like to swear and like to drink,
So,
that's
yeah,
the
well,
game.
The first time we played it, what? It's in that brown case
Yeah,
there.
PJ put
Oh,
in
yeah.
a fancy case.
The first time we played it, because like you can get weapons like a crossbow where you put the die on your fist and you flick it off your fist.
Or you blow it, or just
yeah,
spin it.
And you know, like if you're fighting Medusa, you have to close your eyes when you do it and stuff like that. So like I forget what I had, what combination. Let's say I had the crossbow and I'm fighting Medusa, and I'm like, I can do, like, let me use the crossbow. I got this. And so
You, like really believe you could.
so the guy who like introduced us to the game, this is our first introduction, like this is our gateway game, introduction to the whole hobby.
Got it.
He looks me right in the face, gets right up like in my face. He's like, if you miss this shot, I'm going to punch you in the face. I'm like, oh my god.
Who was this?
High stakes,
We don't
man.
use names, but we'll tell you later. But it was actually funny
We can
because we
edit.
had so much
Yeah.
fun that his wife, my best friend,
Oh,
hit
okay.
her
Never mind. I know.
hit her head off of a chair because we might have been drinking some apple juice. And then PJ swears we played a game after that.
Yeah, we did
King
we
of
started
Tokyo.
with Dungeon Fighter, then we did Rampage.
I have no memory of playing
and
Rampage.
then King of Tokyo is how we
Oh
ended
no,
the
sorry.
night.
King of Tokyo. I have no memory of King
no
of
King
Tokyo.
of Tokyo is an awesome
Absolutely
game.
no idea.
That
Yeah,
is
that's
that
great.
one I have played. It is. It
So
is.
I gotta say, like, if you start with Dungeon Fighter, like choose easier games because you're not gonna remember.
So what we did for this, because of the drinking, we did a lot of our play tests. Once I had like the fundamentals down, I had a bunch of friends help me with that. My buddy
Yeah.
James especially he's like always the dude I'll bounce the ideas off of, you know.
Mhm,
He's the guy who always comes back with something that's so goddamn absurd that I have to like scale it back into something usable,
mhm,
you know.
That
But
sounds
it's like
familiar.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right,
it's
we're
super
looking at
useful
ya,
for
no?
me because I'm like, well, that's insane, and no one can ever do that. But that made me think of this. And so we would start our playtest, like I'd get beer and pizza for everybody. We'd start our playtest like Friday night, usually around 7:30, right? And then like, the game itself, if you're playing to play, like, really running through the game, not really drinking, you'll get through a whole game in maybe an hour, maybe less. If
Yeah,
you're not really
okay.
doing, because some people don't like the socials. I'll get into all the specifics of but
Mhm.
Yeah.
we would have games that would go 4 hours because people go off. Like the socials will have, so literally in the rules, it's like socials are supposed to take like roughly a minute. We would have like 30-minute, people would be acting out full scenes and just going off. Like we had to stop and take pauses because like we're like, I'm going to vomit from laughing. Like I can't, like tears in the eyes. You know what I mean? It was just It was so good, but that's
Feels like
how
we try
we
to do
combat
D&D
it.
anymore.
Yeah. I saw on your site like one of the socials was like debating over a mythological creature or something like that, and I'm like, this is like something from Super Fights, like just thrown in here.
That was the premise. Was when we started off, it was more serious and still co-op and roguelike deck building, but way more serious and like less drinky and party-y. But as we progressed through the playtest and we started doing, because it was also you mentioned the way you were talking about like the dice flicking, a lot of the socials starting out were more physical things. It was like, oh yeah, just fun little like flip cup or throw a beer pong thing. It was like, and then the more we get into it, I was like, well, I feel bad because you don't want to do stuff that people can't do. We had stuff in there that was like, do push-ups or sit-ups. Some people might not be able to do that. Like, so we were like, all right, let's try to be super inclusive, at least with the base model, and then we can push out expansions that are like workout expansion, or you know what I mean, like whatever dumb shit we want to do. Yeah, exactly. We started with that. So actually, I think I can screen share. Yeah, this was like, you guys let me know if you can see. It should be the first land. All right, so this is like the first land, right? This is my buddy Dallas. Does all the almost all of our illustrations. It ended up being too much. I thought he was going to do really kind of minor. Like I was like, just literally, I don't care, man. Sketch out some weird shit. Have fun with it. he draws all the time. He was a graphic designer. He's an amazing artist. I was like, oh, I don't even care if you just use a bunch of the doodles. Like he used to go, do like drinking draws in a bar. I was like, you could take those, scan them in, and I don't care. Just make sure it's not, copywritten art. But he did all this mixed media, amazing, the time and effort and stuff. But this was like, okay, sweet. And this is when we really were like, all right, we got something good here. So each land, which is this is what makes up the basis of the game, essentially, are the lands. You have all your deck building elements, but this is how you play. You take these, you put them down, you make basically a pyramid, 5 of the lands at the bottom, and then 1 boss card at the top. You have a pile. Each level for now at least has 2 bosses, except for the 4th, which has 3. And as expansions come out, cards get added, or hopefully, will get added into the main sets. And you can just, you'll have more treasures, you'll have more lands, you'll have more encounters, you'll have more monsters, you'll have, and you'll have a new character every time as well. But what happens is whoever has the fastest speed, which is almost usually the rogue, will pick the land first, right? They flip it over, and you resolve the social first. So this one is each hero imagines a creature and then debates why there's a written fight. All heroes that participate draw 1 card. Right, so you just make up a creature. You're like, it's a 50-foot tall Godzilla. And then someone be like, all right, I got a 52-foot tall Godzilla. You're like, you piece of shit. How dare you?
I have a small 1-inch lizard.
Yeah, that has an anti-Godzilla weapon. Like,
That's right.
It was
Godzilla will choke on this lizard.
It was really, really funny. But we also used to have it so that it was like a voting contest. Whoever did the best, whoever had the best answer would get like 2 cards. And everybody else would get 1. And that was something we ended up removing because it could take a lot of time. And then certain people would get their feelings hurt. Like we had some very, very passionate arguments. Like, no, you don't understand. It's got scale. You can't melt the scale. And it also did kind of hurt the co-op environment, the loving co-op environment that we had fostered. So we ended up getting rid of that. We instead went to, basically now it's like a participation. Everyone that participates gets an extra card. We also have a rule for anyone who is not comfortable doing the socials, right? You can instead discard and then draw 1 card, right? You ignore the social, discard, draw 1. The action is the main part of the land, right? That's like, you have to do that no matter what. The other 2, you have options with. The action has to be done. In this case, you just draw and fight 1 monster, and then you draw an encounter, right? Super basic stuff. We have monsters, treasures, encounters, and then each hero has their own hero deck as well as a build pool that they start with. About 30 cards in the build pool. Then you start with a 10-card hero deck. You draw 4 from that, right? And then you do this. You finish whatever. Then you have your drinking past your action, right? So you take 1 drink for each attack that deals damage to a hero. So if the monster, hit everyone, then everyone would take like 4 drinks. We purposely kept drink. We had originally also started by specific amounts of drinks. Like harder cards was like drink half of your drink, or like like boss cards are like finish your drink. and we're like, dude, we're gonna kill someone.
Yeah, someone's gonna like that. That's it.
Like, especially since we're calling it a roguelike, it'd be like, oh yeah, you can play multiple times. It's like,
Don't do it.
nope. So now everything is vague drinking based, right?
Well,
And also
even
none of the drinking affects stats at all, which
So-
I think is important. You know, you don't want to punish people. Sorry, go ahead.
with the vague drinking, I mean, even when drinking's involved, it's always going to be a roguelite because you'll probably play so much that you won't remember what the hell you
Well, I was
did.
gonna say, if even like for like me, I'd be like, yeah, I love this game, but I don't think I've ever finished it. Like that would be me.
Yeah, like you beat it hundreds of times and you go, I don't remember how it ends.
There's a final boss.
Did we ever beat this game? Yes.
So
Are you
luckily,
sure?
I have done enough playtests, non-drinking environment. There's a really awesome group out here called First Play LA. And they're literally, it's like a playtest group
That's
that meets
awesome.
up at a spot called Geeky, which is an amazing shop. And like, there's 20 to 50 people at almost all these meetups. A lot of game designers themselves, and so they'll come in if they have prototypes, they'll bring them, and then they try out the other prototypes, right? Give you notes, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so we've played it in a environment like that. And it's still, I know it's good because the socials, which were a very minor thing, ended up kind of being like the selling point of the game.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Like you look around and everyone else is like learning rules and playing game, and then people playing our game are just laughing, hysterically.
That's always a worry too, because like the social aspects of games, like it can be a turnoff for people because it's like forcing them to be silly, and it's like I don't want to do that because but so it's always like I can't say because I'm not a designer, but like I that's probably gotta be stressful when you're watching them play and like here comes the social part, let's see how they do, and like how they react to it.
It's funny you bring that up. We literally only had a couple, and they were the only ones ever who have complained about it, and they were like, oh, we really like it, but it feels too disjointed from the other elements of the game. Like, what's the point of doing this? Why not just do the deck builder? And it's like, I get that, but there's so many, all we would have really been, if it was just the deck builder, the only thing we would have been really contributing is the co-op system, the draw system, and how we like play out the turns.
Yeah.
There would have been, which is, I mean, that's important too, don't get me wrong. It is a completely new system. I've never seen anything fully like it. But like that one, for me, that's not enough of a reason to do a whole game.
Yeah.
Well, I think the social aspect actually makes it more fun for me because most of the time, PJ asks me to play board games. I'm like, I don't want to be serious, honey. I'm so tired. Can we just be funny for once?
Yeah.
This is a good social like party game.
Yeah.
Your friends over and friends that you really know really well. You can just, this is better than playing like Cards Against Humanity because we've played that so many times that it's kind of like we're talking about it.
The cards aren't funny anymore,
Because you know which one goes the best with this black card.
Well, it's not just that too, but cards are specific. Cards Against Humanity has the huge flaw of like the more you play with a person, like their sense of humor. It's like, we know, we get it. It's and you're not going to pay for all the new cards all the time,
right?
Yeah.
And it's like this was actually, that was an excellent point. We use this, so we'd have times because I run a homebrew Fallout D&D game as well, and there'd be times
we do too.
Hey,
that's right.
Nice. We'll talk about that later. I gotta. we have like a whole PDF sheet. Like we made a whole rule set. It's massive.
Oh no, we did too. Well, my brother did. He's a nerd. Moving on.
Well, there actually is a Fallout board game.
Yeah, we don't do Fallout.
Yeah. Actually, my buddy JB has it, and he wants us to learn it and play it.
It's amazing.
Secret Cabal podcast. They were talking about it.
My brother made his own world. Like it's his own
he
world.
homebrewed a whole
it's
everything.
Crazy. Like he has pages and pages of backs. It's crazy.
Yeah, we've been playing it for like 7 years.
That's awesome.
This is like our full. We had our first 5-year like full scale, huge, epic to level 25 prototype campaign, and now we're doing another one. But yeah, it was. Nice. But we do this. We'll pop this when the normal people are an hour late, someone always is, right? And you're already drinking and hanging out. It's like this is the perfect thing.
10 minutes.
Yes, I'll be there in 5. No, you won't. Don't
He's gotten better, but it used to be we say, Dan, be here at 9 because we're leaving at 9, and he'd be there at 10. But like, good, we need to be here at 10, so let's go. We would purposely lie.
Then you just start lying.
Yep, we had to.
Yep.
So anyway, but I love the social aspect. Like for me, that's a win because I want something that's gonna be fun to sit around the table, joke around with my friends. Because some people just get so into games. Like we have many different friends who play board games. There's one person in particular who would take everything so seriously.
Oh yeah,
Dude.
It gets intense.
Every group has that person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes. What's the game we like? With the sharks attack.
Survive.
Have you played Survive?
Escape from Atlantis.
Okay, it's fantastic. But Survive, like even that one he took seriously. I'm like, listen, this is supposed to be fun. Like,
Yeah, so
we're supposed to be having fun right now.
For the listeners and for you, Survive is a game where like you make an island and it's all of these hexagonal tiles, and every turn you take one of those tiles away. So this island is shrinking, and there are these, you have these little meeples, and you're getting them on the little meeple boats and getting them to one of the four corners of the boards where it's
There's
safe.
a new island. Yes,
Yeah, there's a new island that's safe. And you can send whales out to knock the boats over, and then send sharks in to eat the
Those
people.
whales are
There's a
dense.
crack. Yeah, there's whales.
So,
but there's kraken.
so this guy, like, you know, you're like this game, like you're not playing to win, you're just playing to be a dick to everyone else. And this guy was playing to win, and so when he had 0 points at the end of the game, he was pissed.
Yeah, level maximum.
So like we need fun games like this because even that got too serious.
So that is one thing I will say. We've had that one couple with like we've had at least, I don't know, 200 easy 200 people that I have zero, you know, I don't know these people, they're just play testing to help me out. We have had absolutely zero, like, I don't like this, I don't like this, there's been none of that. It is always people are having fun, and the co-op,
That's awesome.
The co-opness, the way we designed it, basically you usually fail or succeed together, like, or even better, the group will fall to like push one of them to be like, you can kill the boss, you're the last one. Yeah. And then we have it so that at the end of each level, if you kill a boss, you're coming back max health at the next level, you level up, you know what I mean? So you either win or lose together. So it's always like, it's such a good like group game. Like seriously, it is. It's just fun. We never had an argument or a fight ever in this game. Like I'll pull up a different card to kind of show you guys it. So each of the lands is unique. Some of them are more specific, but some of them are just.
So did one artist do all the cards?
It started off that way, but unfortunately it was, like I said, he was just putting in too much and it was taking too long. So we ended up having to reach out to a few others.
Okay.
So now at this point we have like 8.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, from all over. But this is still from my buddy
Eyes of the
Dallas, who did the main stuff. But yeah, so this one is like you choose someone to have a staring contest, right? Like,
when should we go?
yeah, so each of the socials completely different, completely fun. And if you see right here in the bottom right, we have there's the Essers, that's a starter card. Because you were talking about setup earlier, which is another thing. We have this if you don't know anything, right? If you've never played a game like this, basically we got 2 diagrams. It's like put the cards here, you separate them, you know, by the type. Let me pull that up real quick for you here. Each of the card backs is completely like noticeably different, right?
Well, that's good, yeah.
Okay.
All labeled.
I like that.
Yeah, all labeled.
I love
each of
the designs of these. That's great.
This is all Dallas. Yeah, so he's the main graphic design. He did all this stuff. The Minotaurs from the expansion. We already did one expansion for the Kickstarter. I'll get into that in a second too.
Cool, okay.
Now that was like another question I had for you.
Yep. So you separate all these, right? You put them down, and then those S's that I showed you, we have those. So if you've never played a game like this at all, right? All you do is you take those cards with the S's, put those down, basically as your hero deck. You're ready to go.
Awesome.
Like, very cool.
It takes me literally less than 30 seconds to set this game up if the cards are like, you know, together in a pile and separate.
Hear that?
Like, boom,
not
boom,
5
boom,
years
boom,
to set a board up.
boom.
Oh,
It is. That's the other thing. I made this that it's all.
Are you playing with a sloth?
You've seen him set up things like Gloomhaven. He's very meticulous.
Well, yes, but
that.
not slow.
I love that game, but like you shouldn't have, and like a board game should not take more than 30 minutes to set up.
Yeah, the wooden organizers really help with that, but man, both Gloomhaven and Frosthaven.
I was gonna say, how long did it take us to do our first run through of Frosthaven, which we never finished?
No,
actually, well, this will be our prototype box out, but that right there is a fully sleeved up This is like
Oh, look at that.
that is as
sleeve.
big as it's going to be. It'll actually be a little smaller because it's going to be in a two-fold box, but it's like that's it, man. So you take
did
this.
you like sit
anywhere.
down and watch a movie and sleeve your cards? That's what Stephen Coker does. Just a shout out to him.
I was actually watching a YouTube thing about game design, doing that right before. I just got these finalized market prints yesterday.
Oh wow,
So cool.
We had this amazing local printer, and then the guy that did all the work there quit or got fired or whatever, and the dude who owned it didn't tell me. So I put in this order, and it was the most jank shit I've ever seen. Like it was off-centered, it was miscut, the edges were rounded. So I ended up just having to go to NPC, which I've used for Magic cards before, and they crushed it. So any of you game designers out there looking for something that you know is going to be good, just go to them. Like it's a little pricey, but
that's a good segue into one of the questions I had that I've used for
Would you calm down?
For a question I had for all of the designers we've talked to so far is what kind of challenges have you hit so far designing this, and what other things that you thought would be a huge obstacle turned out to be surprisingly easy?
So the hard obstacles was making a system that feels at least somewhat complex without having a randomized element. Almost all of those games, Slay the Spire, any kind of deck builder, has so much going on behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Like it's doing all these calculations. Like you have these artifacts, that adds things. You have, potentially your first couple attacks do extra damage, that adds things, and all that's calculated so you don't ever see it. But it's done, right? When you're doing a board game like this, you can't do that. And it would have been very easy to be like, all right, an attack card, and then you have like 3 or 4 dice. And then from a design perspective, what you do is you would average that out, right? So if you're letting people roll D6s and they're going to roll 3 D6s, right? Average, you should have around 9 damage.
Yeah.
Right. And then you can then use that to adjust your enemies and like your number of players, things like that. What we did was we went with this is the Munchkin part of it. So for the creatures, I'm super proud of this. As far as I know, I haven't seen this anywhere either. What we did was, I love it. So they have each stats. It's all on one card for each level, right? So each level your character is, those are the stats the creature has. If you're level 4, it has higher stats, right?
Yeah.
And that's once again to keep it dynamic, so that we're not, because it could have the same stats, but then we'd have extra dice, or we'd have without doing that. It's like this. And so everything, the regular monsters, they all start with 1 hit point, right? And you can damage them. So let's say you're playing solo and you're like the wizard or something. So you go over their defense. So a 9, right? 1 over at least would do damage.
Yep.
And it would hit them for 1. And if you're by yourself, because you can play the solo, although it is most certainly more fun with others. If you're by yourself, that would kill the creature, right? 1 damage kill the creature. We multiply the health by the number of players.
Okay.
All right.
Instantly you're scaling to I think 8 is going to be our max, although there isn't really a max, but past a certain point it's going to get
too messy too busy.
It's way too messy. But so all right, so let's I'll do a quick breakdown to try to explain how we got to this point. So the 8 defense right there, right? Let's say you're playing as the wizard. That was the example I used. So you have, as a level 1 wizard, those are your base stats, right?
These cards are great.
Yeah, no, the art is so we had such good responses from the art across the board for everyone. But yeah, so like level 1 wizard, and so you see you already have a base 4 attack, and then for your cards, right? You start off, so much like Slay the Spire or any other deck builder, you start off with some basic cards in your hand. Each starting hand or each starting deck is a total of 10 cards that you build out of that build pool, and it's either 3 attack or 3 or 4 attack and 3 or 4 defense cards, plus 1 or 2 class or utility, depending on what you're playing. Okay. Right. So the wizard has class, like you get 2 class cards with the wizard. The fighter and the rogue have utilities because they're kind of more utility based, not specifically unique to the class, but like, so your 4 original attack plus this 4, if you play this attack card, right, you'd have an 8. So you'd be tying the defense. So you would need something to like go over that, right? And that's where you could either play another attack card, but you also have, the wizard specifically has cards that do things like this, which would lower enemy speed, also adding attack to you. So we have, variations of haste,
Okay.
things like that. Combat gets broken down into 2 sections. That was another design thing that we had. We wanted it so that people could kind of play cards at any time. But shout out to my buddy Juan, who was the only person who broke this game. I did so good to be like, all right, you can't make it broken. You can't make it broken. And what he did was, before, we did used to have a limit on how often you could play your draw cards, right? And he literally, it only works in a group. You can't do it solo. But he just had everyone else basically cover his ass and protect, and then have another round go because they couldn't hit because of him. And then he just waited till he had all of the best cards in his hand, and he'd play like 2 good ones, draw 2, get them back. 2, draw 2, get 'em back. 2, draw. And I was like, all right, Juan, good job. So now all of our draw cards have once per combat now.
Nice.
Great.
That was one of the
I
like
love this.
But I have a lot of friends who play, you know what I mean? I hit up almost all of them about this stuff. So I had a lot of help going through these elements. So it was the original, really, like I said, getting it to where it felt balanced and equal without dice or any other thing. That was definitely the hardest challenge by far. Yeah.
So now in terms of the Munchkin aspect, does that mean that when you say like, I'm fighting this thing, but I only hit it for like 4 points and it has an armor class of 10, other people can start piling on cards and being like, yeah, I got this.
So what they do, yes, but no, I'll show you.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you're 100% correct. It's just, so we have stuff. Each class also has a skill unique to them. So the wizard specifically, he can discard any card and give everyone a +1 attack, right?
Okay.
Right? That's just his normal skill.
Yeah.
He also, well, he won't have that. We have base weapons and armor that stay with your character like the whole time. And then if you guys ever heard of Flesh and Blood at all?
No.
It's like one of the guys that did Magic for like 7 years, one of the main designers, he's from New Zealand. They made this amazing card game called Flesh and Blood. It's probably one of the best like dueling experiences I've ever seen. But they had a mechanic that I 100% stole here, which is you have a weapon that exists and you get like permanent stat bonuses for that, but then you have a sacrifice option where like you can tank. I'm sure they're not the first ones. It's just the one that I saw done. It was just the way it balanced was so well done, right? So if you're going to die anyway, of course you sacrifice this for, +5 attack and defense and hope to be able to hit it. But other people, other types, like our fighter, right? He has multiple cards that help other players do stuff. So like this one right here, you forfeit your ability to defend and you add your current attack to all other heroes. Like, so you were saying, you know what I mean? So all your cards can interact to play for others. The Minotaur can straight play attack cards. The fighter can play defensive cards for other players. The healer can allow other people to draw cards. This right here is another example. So the fighter can play this and it will double the effects of either attack or defense cards played by everyone.
That's cool.
Oh, nice.
So like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, right. So they can, I can't hit him, whatever. And then there are going to be rounds where someone can't hit, you know what I mean? Which is no big deal. Then you have to defend or you take the damage, one or the other. And then the beginning of the next round, the first time that creature gets hit, it will die. Turn order is really easy, and the more you play, the faster it gets. So it's just like I said, it's speed based. But if you can't, so let's say there's 4 of you playing, right, and you're fighting. What do we got here? Yeah, our orc, sure. And your wizard's too slow, right? So he's got like a 9 speed. Everyone else would get to go, and then the monster would go, and then the wizard would go, which basically means that as a group, when a monster attacks, it attacks everyone, right? So you basically would have to defend. If you were all faster than the monster and you were able to hit it, then you would never need to defend.
Yeah.
Right.
And you start with, we always tell players, if you're not familiar, start going in turn order. But by the time you've played it a few times, what you can basically do is we start off when we have a monster or boss, we're just like, all right, can everybody hit? You know what I mean? And if everyone has a hit, sweet, we put down our cards, we block, and it's like, it's so quick. You know what I mean? But that takes a second to really, that's kind of teamwork. But even without that, it's super simple. Like I said, you go over the number, you hit it. You can't go over the number, you don't hit it. You get to draw one at the end of each round of combat, no matter what. So if you can't hit that round, there's a chance you can hit next round. And within the group, usually there's something that allows it to get done. Most of the times, the monsters aren't going to give you too much trouble. We tried to make it so that, like, until there's a few of them that can have some serious, like, oh shit. But most of it is pretty, it's the bosses. Yeah.
Should have the word Mormons in there somewhere.
Oh yeah, we definitely didn't pull any punches with any of that stuff. It's only going to get more blasphemous as we go, probably. Like
fantastic
or interesting. We did a Kickstarter expansion specifically. It's called Drunker by the Minotaur. It's all like Greek mythology based.
I love it.
If the Kickstarter does well, our first expansion on that is the Dungeon Dating Simp. And that's the Bard expansion.
I love it.
Like, yeah, there's honestly endless possibilities, which is what I'm hoping for. Like, you push out a $10 expansion deck with 32 cards in it. That's, a whole bunch of new stuff for the game.
Yeah.
And it's like, there you go. Revive.
And I like the idea of keeping the pricing still relatively low.
Yeah.
Where it's not going to break your bank. Like, because I see a lot of expansions where like, ooh, here's an expansion which is just as much
more
as
than
the
base
regular game or more, or even like half the base game. It's like, man,
Mansions of Madness.
why? Like, and small little transactions like
it's
that
worth
would
it.
make it, really worth it, because now you're getting all this other stuff. As long as you have the base game, you're now just saying like, oh, you know what? Hey, there's a pretty cool add-on. Let's just throw a couple bucks here this way, and now I've got something to expand. A game.
Yeah, right.
Already got limitless potential.
I tend to be the type of person, I literally look at entertainment in terms of like money per hour. If that makes sense to anyone else.
Yes.
Like when I buy a game, right? If I'm buying like a $70 game, I want like at least 20 hours of enjoyment out of it. Roughly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you have something like this where barring more change ups, because dude, it's so wild. I have the quote saved from like when we first started this. Like it has gone up $5,000 for what we're trying to print 1,250 units, right? That's what the Kickstarter goals for at 24,000 gets us all the units printed, gets us everything shipped out, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But it's like it's gone up 5K in the last 2 years.
I'm sure because of shipping and
Yep. And there's a paper shortage apparently too, which is like yep. So it's the MSRP is probably going to be like 35. Maybe even 40 by the time it gets to a store, which I really don't want it to be. And that's the other thing too, though, that's a variable aspect. If I'm lucky enough, like let's say we crush the Kickstarter, you know what I mean? We get like $500,000 or something, we'll be able to probably MSRP at like 30. Yeah, I'll be able to print them for 15. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But right now, the print cost and the runs that we do, it's just that's the other big problem. That's the only reason I'm going to Kickstarter. Like I've had tons of people that want to buy the game, but I'd have to charge like $60, and that would only make like $10 for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I'm paying basically $50 a deck at this point to get these like marketing breaks. That's that. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no good way to do that. But yeah, so it'll be like hopefully it'll be $35. And then the goal is like you buy that, you get the base game, which is all 4 of the base characters, the lands, everything you need,
Yep.
And then we did this Kickstarter uniquely. The expansion, this one's going to only be on the Kickstarter. Like you will never be able to buy this again aside from this version that comes in this Kickstarter sort of deal is the plan for that.
That's
like we also, and maybe this is a mistake, but we don't have a lot of tiers like when it comes to like ultra mega deluxe edition.
Yeah.
If anyone watching it cares or ever pays attention, the diminishing returns you get from that are so terrible. Like if you want to do, here's an ultra deluxe edition for one thing, right? It's like that one version could be $120.
Yeah.
Whereas all your other versions are going to be like $10, right? So, and that's fine if someone wants to pay $240 or something, but then it just seems so silly to me. Like I would rather take all that, combine it into a stretch goal where everyone gets everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and then the tiers that we do have is like, we have a print and play version. We're gonna have an early bird where like the first 100 is gonna be like $5 off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Not the first, but the common theme I'm seeing from these interviews I'm having with game designers too is that stretch goals are more important than tiers for backers by the sounds of it. Like I don't back often, but when I do, I really just look at the game. I don't look at the stretch goals or the tiers really. So I'm an anomaly in that point. But
that's right. This is the most interesting man in the world, everybody.
yeah, but
well, I'm very similar. Like
yeah, but like John Garcia and Steve Coker, they're both like, we had to really think about the stretch goals and things like that when before we launched. Like John Garcia didn't have any, and people are like, they're backing out. They're like, no, we're not going to back this project if there aren't any. He's like, oh crap,
Yeah.
Hold on.
One of the fulfillment. Oh yeah. One of the fulfillment centers that I had spoken to were like, that's that can be a make or break thing. Aside from everything else, like if you don't have enough stretch goals, if you don't have enough tier stuff, so we still have. I think we're gonna have. Let me pull this up so I don't get it wrong.
So
I think we have 5.
When is your Kickstarter initially or launch?
If we're if everything goes well, it will be on 420 this year, which is just so appropriate.
I love it.
So I can't complain about that. Where I am bummed that it's taken this long. I really wanted it. I wanted this out last year was the plan, but that's just not gonna.
That's another common theme. It was just like
the length
delays and everything. Yeah. How long have you been working on it?
Yeah, about 3 years.
Wow,
3 years. Hey, he's been working on it as long as I've been home.
Yep. Like we started quite a while ago. We went through like a couple iterations. I will say this though, it's always been fundamentally the same. Like we used to have it where every time you finished a level, you added another land, right? But that would extend the game time.
Yeah,
right.
And that's a thing to consider as well. Like how what I think an hour is a good like mid range. But anything over 2 on a box, you're narrowing your audience significantly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, long game is a loss for me. Like I want a 45-minute game. Like that's what I want to see.
Yeah. See that, and that's but you don't want to lie about it as a developer. Like if I play this on a solo run, I can finish this game in 15 minutes. You know what I mean? Well, because it's like you're just doing the math, and the faster you are at the base, it's all fairly. We only did addition, subtraction, and multiplication, right? There's no and all the health is low. It's basically you just, and as soon as you hit once, you don't have to keep track of that number anymore. Yeah. We have little health counters for your hero. Like, you guys might know, out here I got nothing but weird looks. There's a card game called Euchre where you keep track. Yeah, you keep track of your points with a 4 and a 6, right? Like just move. And I was like, oh, that's sweet. We'll just do that with health instead of having to have a health counter or a dice thing. We just literally, here, I'll show you. We have a health card that just has the literal, like, got like 20 hearts. It's like, here's your heart.
Dungeon Fighter is very similar to that.
Yeah, the hearts that you cover up.
Yeah, okay, so another, but so we have like,
Dungeon Fighter.
Yep. And then we tried, because some people still, if they haven't done it before, some people were still super lost. But like we tell them, we're like, just match the heart with the heart. Like if you have 12, put it on 12 and then move it.
Yep.
Dungeon Fighter.
I really have to check that out.
This is like looking like your game here.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, oh shit, let's get this.
This is the take and go Dungeon Fighter.
Yeah, well, and much more social.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Although I hold that we had a lot of fun with Dungeon Fighter, and
I love that
we
game.
pretend to be our characters.
Yeah.
Well, so this is a great gateway for all of the elements that are in here. I will. There isn't much where I'm like, yeah, I crushed it, but goddamn, I crushed that. Like, it's good. It's a good intro for deck building. It's a great intro for a roguelike. It's a great intro for role playing and social games.
I say it's good for Dungeons and Dragons.
Exactly. We play a lot of it, and there's been people here, and that's another reason we have the drinking, because you'll have people initially that level 1, they're watching us. Oh, good day, sir. Tomorrow, how are you? Right? And they're like, what the fuck are these people doing? And then by like level 3, 4 drinks later, they're like, oh, yes, sir. Like,
oh yeah,
it's so cool to see. You know what I mean? It's not like you need alcohol to do that. For some people, it helps.
Liquid courage.
So, and you get the role playing elements. We've had people go through. Like where we're doing like lore for it just to do lore. We don't need lore. Like you don't need lore for this. It's it's bonkers. But people have done that. People have done entire run throughs in character because they wanted to. Like which is always good. You always have that anyway. So why not encourage it when you can? You know what I mean? Why not try to?
Yeah, definitely.
Really, which we did. But to the Kickstarter for the tier stuff. So basically, we only have 3 that matter. Yeah, we have there's a digital version where we'll send you like PDF sheets to print out,
Cool.
sleeve it yourself, play it, whatever. That's how we do. When we do Magic Night for Commander, it's all proxies for us. So
Yeah.
just saying. Yeah, we got the early worm on this one. So also on the Kickstarter, it'll only be 30 MS. So it'll hopefully on the Kickstarter it'll be $30 less. Period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, or sorry, not 30. It'll be 30, so it'll be 5 less than our base MSRP. And then we have basically an edition where you get 5 copies. So you get but it's 120, so you get 1 for free.
Okay.
In case you want to give it to friends or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the upgrade from that is the Bezos Bazaar, which is basically for $420. We're gonna do like an exclusive. Oh yeah. There's tons of 420s, and we'll do a live stream where we're gonna do like with my buddy Dallas, who did all the graphic design. He streams on Twitch all the time. And we'll do a voting pool, and we're gonna end up putting a new card in the game, like based on whatever these guys vote for, and then he'll do the art for it live. Stuff like that.
Cool.
So there's only 42 of those, and then they get a specific foil from that card because we'll print it out for them. But it's like it costs so much money to do like individual foils. Like it's just bonkers. The only other tier that actually matters aside from that, which I'm super proud of, you guys feel free to tell other Kickstarter people this. I think this is so goddamn clutch. For $2,000, we have 4 of these. We're calling Holding Out for a Hero, and you give us artwork to use for one of our starter characters.
Oh,
That's
Could
okay.
be a picture of your cat, could be your baby. We don't give a shit, right? We'll slap that in there and make it look good, and then that's permanent. You know what I mean? For the rest of the time this game exists, we'll have that. Yeah, and there's 4 of those, and then the last goal for a 1 of 1 is the Elon Musk. That is $10,000, right? And you do nothing like Elon Musk does, and you take credit by giving us money. And I'm fine with that. Like, that's the whole tier. Like, you got too much money, bring it this way. Go ahead. Come on. We'll put your name on the box. Like, it'll be like executive producer.
Well, okay, coming from that world like I do, you're not lying. That's exactly what an executive producer does.
Yep.
What did I do? I just gave them a bunch of money.
Yep. Yeah, I love I'm always the type of person that prefers self burns or like self-referential awareness about that shit, you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, if you're gonna do obviously like a blatant cash grab, you gotta be funny about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing. Instead of, like I said, we originally had it where we had like the Kickstarter exclusive version was gonna be like $50 because we have to ship and print out all of the expansion stuff separately.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, I don't feel good about that. Like, that just, you're paying just to be like, oh, it's Kickstarter exclusive. You're already on Kickstarter. Like, that should be the exclusive. You don't.
Exactly.
Look at this fancy double stamp gold box. Like, we have all that built into the stretch goals. Once we hit whatever, it's like, and we're working out exact, because once again, the price has shifted so many goddamn times. Yeah. But when we want to make, I can't like lose money. But we have all the card stock upgrades, the box upgrades, the expansions, like, and then it gets really ridiculous. So we got like play mats, a digital version of the game and shit like that. But those are all kind of, right now the way it's working, the box will ship flat rate. So it's like people are going to be only paying like the $7 or $8 for the shipping.
Okay.
And that's pretty good.
That's really good.
If we get to like, I think it's like 120 or maybe 250, that I hope we get there. I'm not planning on it, but if we get there, then we have play mats, and all the play mats, like completely, like shipping goes up to like $13.
Oh, we got to get there.
And you need to use the playmat for John Garcia's game because he said it works better.
Oh, that's right.
So we can play with his cards and John Garcia's balls, and it'll be a great weekend.
Well, we started with we have a ton of Magic playmats here, you know what I mean? And we started off doing the playmats for everyone, but that's the other, like, the plan is to hopefully get some customized clear sleeves that'll ship with the product. Because the way we have it now, like, it's it's small, and if you really, we play with hands out so everyone can see the cards. So like, it's really helpful to, if someone's not familiar with the game, you can be like, oh, you just need that and that, and then they're watching everyone else. So as you go, they learn. But you could easily just hold them in your hand. You have like your 3 little piles. It can all be condensed to a very small area.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's like we would almost, if I did a playmat for the whole game, it would almost be like an elongated, like a 24 by 17 maybe.
Okay, cool.
And that would be probably enough. But then it's like, it's just not the top priority, like for this game anyway, because there's no, we take this to bars to play it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't want to hold, that's the other thing too for me. It's like, if you guys if you have a game night anywhere that's not your house, you know how that is. You're like, boxes and boxes, and you got your bags.
That's literally what he does.
The struggle's real.
The struggle's real.
So it's like, oh, here's one little
a lot
box.
better.
Like I said, that's the on-the-go dungeon fighter. I like it.
And as a party game, you want it to be nice and compact.
Yes, and you want sleeves on it for when the alcohol is inevitable.
When it starts spilling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you start
that was one of the only
cardinal
things where like, hey, as far as all the rest of the stretch goal stuff, we basically just looked at like, all right, what can we give people that I feel like I would want? That's kind of what I was like, all right, if I'm paying this and I know you're going to be able to print it cheaper or you're saving money, where's that being passed on to me? So it's like, immediately, like, I think our first one is only 5,000 or 6,000, and that's like the first card stock upgrade.
Okay, yeah.
And then we go to better box upgrades. Then we have like actually I looked at full foil sets, but for anyone not familiar with like how printing stuff works, when you do like metallic ink, cold foils, or metallic foils, you have to label the parts of the images where you want that done. Like I thought it would just select like a color, you know what I mean? Be like, silver.
All the red
silver.
stuff. Yeah.
Exactly. No. Your graphic designer has to go in there and be like this element, this element, this element.
Oh.
And so exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like and then I gotta pay him a lot more. So that's later on. And then I was like, well, I love holographic cards, right? I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, who doesn't?
I was like,
we grew up in
it's
the 90s.
not that much more.
Pokemon, we bought for
exactly.
those.
Right. I was blown away. It costs so much more to do like the foil press or whatever than a hollow print. Hollow prints are only like 30% more.
Oh.
But
wow.
I was like, I don't think we originally had that as a stretch goal, like everyone gets a hollow print, and I was like, I don't think that's a good move, because I don't think everyone's gonna be as like, if everything is all holographic, then does it matter? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it kind of ruins it, I guess, is what I thought. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know. Let me know in the comments.
Well, I mean, you don't want everything to be the hollow print, because then you're like, yay. You get like 1 or 2 and you're like, ooh, look at this.
Yeah.
We all fought for those.
Well, and the printers there, they do like there's a color conversion, so we might have a bunch of the text that wouldn't be, it's important that this is all very legible. There's, sometimes you're playing this in like low light scenarios.
Yeah.
You want to be able to read the cards, and it's like you can't do anything that's actively going to make it harder to understand what's going on in the game, even if you think it looks cool. Like
exactly.
Low lighting and boost. What am I doing? I don't know.
Yeah, right. Like
you have to get one of those little headlamps.
Yeah.
Hold on, I'm playing my game in the bar.
We've had like 2 bars that were just so damn. We're like, we can't. You can't play this in here. But it's like, why are you doing that in your bar nowadays? Like, this isn't the 80s. We're not in a jazz lounge. What the?
Right, and we don't have all that awesome smoke to make everything.
Yeah, there's no diffusion anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, like all that smoke used to diffuse the light heavily.
That's right. And you'd be like, oh man, this like got such a cool atmosphere. And now
look at this
ambiance.
ambiance.
You're like, wow, I can see all the sad people here.
Yeah, I was just like, smells like depression. That is one of the good things out
covered
here,
that up before.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's just
that was honestly my last trip to a bar. I was in a bad mood, got there, sat down, drank, and went, wow.
Nope.
This is really depressing. This is bumming me out even more. Let me get one last drink and I'm leaving.
And now I'm one of these people.
Exactly. Like, I used to be the guy coming and picking on you. Now I'm one of you. Why?
Yeah, dude, one of the good things out here is there are so many awesome Dan,
this isn't for you. This isn't like help space.
Barcades.
Because Okay.
I was gonna say
Everything's for me.
This is
He-
not a
he
safe
said-
space.
he was like, I have one more drink and I'm leaving. This bar sucks. I'm like 4 more drinks and I'm out of here.
You look at your watch. I got some time to kill. Let's just.
Yeah, right. But no, we have so many good. They're not even like barcades really, because they're more like there's a place on the street called Guild Hall that's literally just it's board game bar. You know, that's all it is. Like
Nice.
they have some TVs that do other esports watching stuff, but like there's no consoles. It's just they have a huge wall of board games. You know, people just go in there, do that. There's so many places like that. There's literally a spot out here called the Roguelike. Like
How did I
that's
miss this
awesome.
stuff while I was out
I
there?
don't know.
the roguelike just opened. Guild Hall
Okay.
would have been very tail end, but it's also all in the valley. Like we were talking earlier, traveling is so
It's a pain in the butt.
it's like, you know, out here there's all these awesome spots now. So you take this out, you meet these new people, and that's the other thing I like. Like gaming should be, to me, gaming is better enjoyed in a group.
Oh,
You
It
know,
is. I think it's so.
It-
Yeah.
There are
Any-
great solo games, but
Yeah.
I,
Especially like online games. Online games are fun. They're social.
yes,
I don't like doing it because I don't like being too social.
I just want to say one thing. I don't like soul gaming because I don't like to play with myself. I like someone to play with me.
You know what? I'm not even going to say this one.
That's the only reason I'm here. Where's Angie?
I play with myself all the time.
I know.
I was going to say
And
I
it
play
makes
with
me happy
myself
because I get alone time.
and I like people to watch. But
that's what Twitch is for, right?
that's right. That's right. No,
That was OnlyFans or just was it?
yeah, OnlyFans. Like the most solo games that I play anymore is VR. That's
Oh
like,
yeah.
And there's one game that I bought. I even bought him when we got him his first
Yeah.
headset. Hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. And I know Anton is the game developer with Rust Ltd. He's out there somewhere in California too, and this guy just works tirelessly on this game. And it's just
Wow.
it's
He puts
complete
a ridiculous
silliness.
amount of detail into this game about killing hot dogs.
That's it. That's it.
Yo,
And like
if you got a passion, follow it.
Right.
You know?
And follow your dream.
it's funny because it was the first game I ever bought for the VR, and I've bought a bunch since. But I'm still constantly playing hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades.
Dude, I'll have to check that out. Honestly, nothing has ever topped Beat Saber. Beat Saber was like the pinnacle of VR, and it continues for me to be the pinnacle of VR.
You know, Beat Saber is a fantastic game. I can only play so much before I go. You know, my arms don't go like this. Just give me the sword.
Yeah,
and
no,
let me
I
cut
know.
something.
Bone,
You know?
Boneworks is still my favorite.
Boneworks is a pretty
Love
good one.
Boneworks.
Oh, I haven't played that one either.
I'm one of those who can't play VR because it makes me very nauseous.
Yeah.
You
Is it
know,
any game or just certain
All of
games?
it.
So is it
Yeah.
just is it the movement?
All of it. Yeah. IMAX makes me really sick too.
Oh, that I can
Oh,
Yeah.
see. That I can see. Like I
But I
can't do
also get
racing
migraines
games.
really easily. It's just, and it's my mom has the same kind of situation, so
Yeah.
it's hereditary. It's okay.
Bad movie.
horrible. Well, I mean, if you like comedies, I thought it was great.
Oh yeah.
I no, whatever. Oh yeah.
I'm just thinking about playing with John's balls. I gotta go now.
Oh,
Do you want me to get them?
Yes, I do.
oh,
John, come
John
back.
Garcia. She likes playing with your balls.
I do.
I hope that
They make
tickles
me
your
feel
fancy.
better. No, I tickled his balls, not his fancy.
Oh, that's the same thing, sweetie.
Is
You're married to a half Brit. You're
could-
supposed to know this.
It could be both.
That could be both.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, like the gaming together is a lot more fun for me, you know, and,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
you want
yeah.
that, like the ability with this game as well. You have it since it's a party type game. Like you can, you want to go get a drink, you want to go talk to someone, you could walk away from the table, put your dude down, right, put your cards down, and then all the other remaining people, if no one else wants to jump in, they just lower the health by one.
Mhm.
Game keeps going. Like you know, you don't need to wait for. It's just so.
It's versatile.
It's so versatile and good in any of those social environments.
Yeah, it's a very jump in, jump out type of thing. Which
which
Here,
that.
cover for me.
Love that.
yeah, and I think because you don't see that a lot when it comes to board games, and I think that's something
There are only
that,
like 2 games I can think of that do that, and that's
This would have been good in college when we were like, commuter lounge.
the commuter
This could have
lounge.
been
Yeah.
the Uno kind of thing,
Yeah.
than the
That's-
hearts thing.
That's the other thing too. There's not a lot of like. There's I think less than like 10. Kind of like nerd drinking games like that. That are
Yeah.
their own thing, not just we took what already exists as a drinking game
Mhm.
and then added Harry Potter or whatever the shit to it. Like
right.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about this is even though it is, you've got a lot of drinking to go along with it. Like from what I'm seeing, it's not a necessary.
Not at all.
Like, and I feel that you could have a crap ton of fun with this, even sober. And I know when we get in a game, especially when I get involved, shit goes off the rails fast.
A room full of theater majors playing a game like this. It's
Well,
gonna...
Oh yeah, it's. Are you guys familiar with Pitch Storm at all? Have you ever heard of that?
I haven't heard of that.
No.
That is another one of those like. It's basically. I'm sure you would love it, man. Having come from the industry, it's literally your like you have like characters and then like plot. It's like 2 separate cards, and you either work as solo or as a group. Like ideally, you have like 6 people, and then like one of them is like a producer, right? And so you pitch movies based on this.
Oh my god!
And they have like 3 note cards they can give you. So you know your cards could be like a dark, depressing drama about like a man reuniting with, or a man reuniting his daughter, and then his daughter's like, "That's dope, but can we make it a cartoon musical where dogs have sex?" And you're like, "Fuck!" Like, and you have like 60 seconds to the whole pitch has to be within 60 seconds.
I need to
like,
play.
Okay,
this.
so this reminds. Have you ever played Snake Oil?
No, but
Okay,
It's
so
such a
this is
simplistic game, but it's
very,
fantastic.
very similar to Snake Oil. Snake Oil is a card game where, like
It's about thinking on your feet.
yeah,
It really
you really
is.
think on
Yeah.
your feet. So if you do improv or you want to do improv, this is the perfect game to get into. And it sounds very much like this, where you have a hand, you draw 2 cards, and you're supposed to put together something that your judge would want to buy. And your judge has their own cards that they pick. Like
you're a
to
Snake
mess
Oil
with your-
salesman.
yeah, you're a Snake Oil salesman.
Yeah, no, exactly the same type of.
Yeah,
But I love that stuff. But that's group dependent, right?
Yeah,
That's
it
the
is.
problem with
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
it is.
If you're not with or if you're the only person who likes that in a group of people like that, they're not gonna like that. This is kind of the bridge gap.
Right,
Yeah.
Because
For
you
sure.
don't have to, like, the drinking is there to help with that, but you don't need to do it. You don't have to do the socials. If you're
Right.
uncomfortable, just you get a discard, draw a card. But for the
Well,
people that like
I
it,
think the beauty is in the simplicity of some of your socials, because as you're clicking through the cards, when's the last time that you knowingly as an adult went, okay, staring contest?
Yeah.
We don't, we're no longer
Yeah.
5 or 6 years old.
I do that with my
But
cat. And
when
he
you
always
do
wins.
it, everyone starts watching and like you really get into it and you have to, and everyone starts laughing. So even without the booze, like it's gonna be
It's
fun
gonna be
because
fun, yeah.
it feels like it's infantile, but it allows you to go back to that age of innocence and just pure fun for fun's sake.
it's funny you mentioned that because we literally have a land where you try to steal your own nose. Like,
See? The beauty is in the simplicity of it, and that like almost infantile, but like who doesn't want to go back to not adulting? Like, you want to be a kid again.
Yeah.
Adulting sucks.
Right?
So like this is just like that fun. Like I'm not an
Yeah.
adult right now.
and then some of them. So we have this
You're
one.
right.
This one's great. This is one of the harder ones. And
Eternal
it's,
Jeopardy.
if you
I
answer
question.
everything in the form of a question for the remainder of the level, you get a treasure. If you can
Love
do
it.
it, like
God.
I think we've only had like 4 people because it always turns into people trying. As soon as one person loses, they try to make everyone else lose.
Yep. It makes me
It's just
think
human
of whose
nature.
lines anyway. Where have all the flowers gone?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, some of them are just so. Oh yeah, this one always this always kills.
What a film! Oh, there you go.
Quotes.
Already,
Yes.
yeah.
Quote a film or TV show. The other
From that
heroes.
film franchise or TV show.
Oh,
all
I
that.
love it. That is awesome.
PJ, I think you and I would like rock at that one.
And Laura.
We just go through the entirety of Boondock Saints.
Pretty much. Or
and-
Teenage
Oh.
I'll
Mutant
go with that one,
Ninja
thank you.
There was
Right
a
here.
firefight. God, I love that movie.
I'll get my rope. It's my favorite line.
What's this?
No, yeah, but so like, it's all the lands are different. All lands are different. Oh, and side note, we also have. I love this too. We have what are wrong button. Sorry. We have
You
mini
did.
bosses.
Why don't you make like a tree? Get the out of here.
All right, Doc, we got to get you a book of Proverbs. This mismatch got to go.
I love him. That was
He
best
gave me
character.
He gave me his. He gave me his.
Oh, you
He fucking gave me this.
So
We can't even do the interview anymore.
All
We're too
right,
busy with
we have to
Boondock.
go watch
that
movie
Yeah,
now.
Bye.
Hey,
The
I-
live stream,
I-
you
I-
can stay on
meeting
with
you.
us.
I understand. We'll do a group watch party.
This is very
Yeah, so
science.
we have mini bosses that also have like the land backings,
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
right? So these look like lands till you flip them over, and then it's like,
Tongue
oh shit,
twister.
right?
Oh my gosh.
Nice.
Yeah,
I
but
would win that one because I talk so fast.
Yeah.
this one is still my absolute favorite. It gets us
The
almost
swear
every
The
wolf.
time.
werewolf.
I just read this one earlier today.
Draw 2 cards, many hero swears, discard 2, and the cultist transforms into the swear. I would be so
Me too.
screwed.
Yeah,
We'd be
so
the
it's got, like,
reason that
this-
we'd
So
lose.
great.
It's got the 2 sets of stats, right? And like obviously the one is much easier. Like it's a lot
Yes.
easier if you don't swear. But if you
Do
do,
it.
Hey,
Yeah,
remember,
so-
what are we? We're
So
werewolves,
great.
not swear wolves. That's right.
We'll just bite our fingers and be like,
that's literally where this came from, is
I
because
love
of that
that
line
movie.
in that movie. I'm
I
still
love-
waiting for the spin-off of those guys. Like what?
Oh, the cops, they had their the cops had their own spin-off, and I can't remember what it was called, but I think you can find it on HBO. It's What We Do in the Shadows. I don't think you guys have seen that yet.
Oh, I want to see
I
that.
have to get these two to
You
watch it.
need that. So the movie,
really wanna
the
see
first
that.
movie that Taika did, that's where they run into a
Yeah.
group of werewolves as they're
And,
going through the
yeah,
park.
they're changing themselves
cursing.
up, and all the vampires are picking on them, and the one gets mad and swears, and like, hey, we're better than that. We're better than that.
Werewolves, not swearwolves, mate.
That's right. Sorry.
God, I need to see that.
It's such a
so
funny
good.
film.
It's so good.
So the
Yeah, it's
question
like-
is there a card that says like if the first person to make a dirty joke like loses 10 cards? Because I'm out, like I'm gonna lose.
I don't know.
So
It'd be a tie.
we got rid of most of that. We had a lot more things
We need
that
dirty
you
jokes in
discard,
this game.
but like I don't want elements that people won't find enjoyable to be standard in the game. So we don't have a lot of things where you have
Makes
to discard
sense.
cards. We
Yeah.
don't have a lot of things where there's like almost no counters.
Okay.
You know, because it feels really bad to like you set up all this time and you're like, yeah, we got this, and then a creature's just like, oh, nah, son, like, nah,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
kidding, just kidding. We also every time, no matter what, at any point in time, you can discard a card for +1 attack or +1 defense to anybody. So like you never have a dead card, which is
Mhm.
Okay.
probably my biggest pet peeve in any
Yeah.
deck building
Oh
game.
yeah.
Like
Oh yeah.
to be stuck with, you're like, oh, we're gonna die, and I have 5 cards in my hands, and I can't use any of them.
Yeah.
Right.
Legendary encounters.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And
That feels bad. As a player, that feels bad. So as a designer, what you try to do is make no bad feelings. Like
right.
anything that I'm like, oh, why is that in a game? Why would anyone put that in any game? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like you don't do that. You want people to, or at least for me, I want people to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
That's-
honestly, this sounds like a game that's going to be ridiculously fun.
It has been nothing but consistently amazing for us, and I'm hoping that everyone else that plays it gets the same
It's a
vibe.
cough.
You had mentioned earlier, the non-drinking stuff. We've had at least 20 people that don't drink that have been here for our Friday night playtest with, the rest of us getting fucking hammered. They don't care. They're having just as much fun as we are. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Like the only time I probably would partake in heavy drinking is after I get my house put together.
Yeah.
Because I've got enough rooms that I can be like, you guys can just crash here.
Yep. You guys want to just come over and a party? Or, yep. No, that's. And,
So I know this is like me shooting far off in the future here, but I think it's a fun game that like people here in Mobile would love too. And there is a coffee shop opening literally across the street from my house in a couple of weeks, I think. And he has mentioned
News to
that
me,
we
yeah.
could talk to the people, the owners. Yeah, the old hardware store. It's going to be a coffee shop now.
Well, it's about time they do something with it.
Yeah. Since Pop is no longer open, might as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, you don't know what that is. But moving on, he mentioned, wouldn't it be cool if we hosted like game nights once in a while? Imagine playing this there.
Oh my
People,
God.
this would be hilarious because there's no drinking. It would just be
Oh, it'd be
coffee
so
or whatever.
great.
But even with, it's still like staring contest. Like it's fun.
it's so that, like I said, we've done 4 different fairly large scale playtests with other large groups in a non-drinking environment, and it still holds up just fine. Like if you're not the type that cares, you don't need it, but it's for those, for the Friday nights, for the D&D days, for the
Yeah.
you're gonna hang out and drink with your friends anyway. This is like, why not have more fun?
Right. Yeah. And this sounds like a game that for us playing games as much as we do would be right up our alley.
Oh yeah.
Especially with my background now. We basically grew up together. We've known each other for 24
Too many years.
24 years. Yeah, longer than I'd like to know
We were
anybody.
12.
Yeah,
24,
24
yeah.
years. So, you know, this would be right up there with like the kind of stuff that we would do on just a regular basis anyway. We both did a lot of theater in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I went through it all through college and being out in Los Angeles and doing stuff like this anyway on a regular basis. Even though I didn't get into D&D until my stunt show back in 2016, like this is something that you can just pick up, have fun. And, you know,
I have a very diverse group of friends, right? And the really good thing about this is because of the simplicity, because of how it's designed, like non-gamers have a lot of fun with this. You know what I mean? And if you can get people who don't give a shit about deck building, they don't want to do any of the math, right? And they'll still play for the socials and for the fun. And then they will, as it goes on, they start to care a little more, right? They want to, like, they don't want everyone else to have to do the math for them. That makes them look bad. So they'll start doing it.
Yep.
And we've had so many people who are just like, oh man, I've never played a card game like this at all before. You know, I mean, in that sense of like, no CCGs, none of it.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh yeah, you know, dude, like my mom, who none, no games in that sense, right? When she came out to this a while ago, she was like, oh, this is fun, I get it. Like, you know, it took her a few rounds, and you could tell, but like that's amazing for her, even a couple rounds in, to be like, oh, I understand now. Like,
okay,
we go over this number.
You can put that as the tagline: a game so easy even your mother could play.
Yeah.
So actually, one of the I'm not 100%, but one of the options we're gonna do is we're gonna have just a ton of fake quotes on the box. And one of the ones is gonna be like, "I'm sure it's great, sweetie," and it's like grandma, you know. So the quote I did earlier, the one that Flame Spire, Munchkin, and Mario Party had a drunken three-way. We have that attributed to Nicholas Tesla. You know, like
When I saw that, yeah.
When they,
I missed that. That's great.
He has something like Dash Nicholas Tesla.
If you ever it's because of all the film stuff out here. If you guys ever see when someone's trying to push like that's something that went through like festivals, they'll do the posters and there's like a million like 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, not blah, blah. But like once you actually move here, you realize that there's like 400 of those festivals every day.
Yeah.
So like you can literally just make your own and like enter your own movie and be like, I'm the winner.
I won this film festival.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, winner
Who put it together?
Festival. And
I did.
There's no credit. So I just think that I love once again, I love the idea of, you know, embracing something like kind of stupid like that and then just leaning into it though, you know, like put a quote from the Pope in there. We thought about
his blessing.
I should have mentioned that earlier when you said what is one of the big struggles? Rules. Printing your rules, not knowing your rules, but making it so that other people, average stupid people, can understand your rules. The older I get, the more I realize it's like I think it was Carlin who's like, you know, you think of how stupid you think the average person is, and then acknowledge they're twice that dumb.
Yes.
Every year that becomes more accurate to me. There was stuff in here that I was like, this is foolproof. No one could not understand this. And then like 2 seconds into reading it, someone's like, what does this mean? Like, oh my God. Oh my God.
I understand that. The one thing that I think I love the video ideas.
Always open for input, of course.
That's the stupid stuff that I would do on my own.
Yeah.
Like I think if I were still out there, you and I'd be working beautifully.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But the one thing that I think you were talking about doing just regular print ads, the thing that I think that would work really well for this, well, like print, would be take a look at the classic like games from when we were kids, like the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo, like those tongue-in-cheek, ridiculous.
I looked into some of those, especially like the problem with those is you need the visual background. Like so many of those had something, you know what I mean, visually that really did well.
Right.
And that's a budget issue.
See, I think for this though, like if you were to take some of the artwork on even your landscape cards, you could use that as like, you blow it up and use that as your backdrop.
Oh, got it.
You know, something like that. Like, because it would give you that idea of like, oh, that place looks so cool, but then you've got like something goofy going on in, you know, the foreground as well.
For a while, I was trying with like a post a day, do like art stuff to try to, you know, Reddit imager just from my own like accounts, just trying to be like, you know, hey, you know, it's just really hard to gain any kind of traction that way.
Yeah.
You know, without like front paging or having something. And unfortunately, usually images alone, and especially in that sense, when it comes to like, you know, board game, card game, you're almost never gonna hit that.
Right.
Yeah. No, I mean, we looked into it. Like I said, most of the ones that I see, everything that I've done is shit that I already saw that I was like, oh, I like how that looks. You know, it's like they'll have the ones where it's like the layout, the board. Because I did photography, so we'll take the pictures, we'll have the board, you know, black table probably, card color popping, logo, box, Kickstarter link, like all in one nice little encompassing
nice little image there.
Yeah, trying to be like, hey, but that's honestly, that's the hardest part. It's just getting it out there. There's almost everyone that has played this, you know, automatically signed up for the mailing list. Like, I love this, you know, I want this, I want to buy this now. But it's like getting that message out there is really the hard part, which is why thank you guys so much for stuff like this.
That's something John Garcia, our first interview, that's his job. His full-time day job is marketing. So he had he knew all the workarounds for that. So but he has said that if you know, you guys are interested, like for every interview, he wants to be in these videos, but you know, his schedule just wouldn't allow him to. So he would have been here tonight. But he has offered his email, so I can like connect you two up.
Yeah.
So you can like pick his brain a little bit.
Did he close his Kickstarter yet?
Yeah, but you can pre-order on his website.
I was gonna say, because if you could see John's Kickstarter, that would be.
Oh, you can still go to the page and take a look at the Kickstarter.
Oh yeah, what was the?
So
it's called Table Golf Association.
Table Golf Association. I think of the board, but never mind. It's kind of it's an art.
It's under Survive.
Yeah,
it's a badass game.
That's why I make jokes about playing with John's balls, because they're really cool looking balls.
Yeah, they're little mini shuffleboard pieces.
It's hilarious.
Oh yeah, he's I can tell he did his shit properly because he's already got. There's an ad first top for that. Like I have.
Yeah.
Such that if you Google my game, you get nothing.
I know. It is nothing. I usually like have like a whole Google Doc full of questions, and I'm like research and everything. I'm like, God, I don't know what to talk about with this guy.
that's why I said the website, because I was like, hey, this is the only way, because that, you know, Party and Wanted are so commonly used or so commonly searched. And I'd never before this, I had never done anything with SEO optimization or anything like that either. So I had no. I was like, oh yeah, well, I'll just pay someone to, you know, make it be higher on the search engine. That's all. No, you gotta do all this other stuff.
But yeah,
I can tell he.
Yeah, so I would ask him his ideas, because he has some really good ones.
Yeah, because like that video, like just a little 10-second video of him like flicking a ball down the course and into the hole, and that hooked me. I'm like, I'm back in this game. So like something just quick and simple that, well, you know, like as you're scrolling through, like doom scrolling through Facebook, you know, I'm like, I saw that as I was scrolling, I'm like, hold on, I went back to it, you know, I'm like, that's cool.
See, so I had a buddy who his whole job was like social media marketing, right? And he was basically telling me your returns per click on like targeted ads like that is like the same that you used to get from mail out print. So it's like less than 2%. And then when I was talking to the fulfillment centers, they're like, and then there's another huge loss, conversion loss of people that aren't signed up on Kickstarter. So you'll have people that might like your Facebook ad, right?
Yeah.
And they'll click on it to like, but then it's only on Kickstarter. They're like, I'm not signing up for a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so it's just like, it's such a hard, honestly, his doesn't look, I'm looking at it right now, it doesn't look bad at all.
Yeah.
It's a great game. Yeah. It's a really
good.
No,
I mean, the Kickstarter, you guys said someone was shredding it.
No, that was John. No.
Oh, okay.
Steve Coker was our last interview.
Yeah, Steve's is going on right now. If you want to take a look at it, it's The Adventures of Dex Dixon.
It's hilarious. I cannot wait. I want it so bad.
I hope it gets funded, man.
So do I.
Yeah. But yeah, John Garcia knows his stuff. So talk to
Dash.
Dex.
D-E-X. Dixon.
And he paid one person for all the artwork. He owns the artwork now too.
Yep.
And it actually started as a story and then a musical, and now it's a board game. It's the craziest.
It started as a film noir. that he wanted to do a silly tongue-in-cheek film noir. He liked the character so much.
Serial, and then he turned it into a
and then he turned
movie.
it into a movie, and then he turned it into a musical, which he's gonna
Which
launch.
they performed,
Yeah,
and they're gonna perform again.
He's launching it again this year, and he's taking all of it and turning it into this board game.
Yeah.
Going in on it.
We had a great interview.
He is
with him
hilarious.
last
Yeah.
week. Yeah, I'm still trying to.
But yeah, the guy that
way
beat
to
up on
the
him,
part.
like you have to scroll way down to get to all the good stuff of the game. Like there's a lot of
Okay, so this is something that I don't like. I saw this on a couple other ones. Like I don't need, and I understand it aesthetically it looks good, right? From a graphic standpoint, I understand. You take all the data points you have, you put them against other nice looking things like all the newspaper stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
That's all really cool, but you could do that in a much more compact, easier to read.
That's what the person had said.
or like Steve said, like I wish I would have like rearranged it, like the one YouTuber said, like put the elevator pitch up at the top of the page, and all that stuff is awesome. Like put down, So
like for me, what would be most effective for me to hook me to buy your game would be like a 10-second ad where you have like PJ, Dan, and one person, they're all holding cards and they're doing this.
In other words, what we do normally.
And then you realize that the camera flashes down to the staring contest, and you have some person going, okay, can we please fight the boss now? And then like that would be like, to me, because you're like, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous, but it is like a fighting game. Like that would be a win for me. Like I'd be like, here's my money, take my money. Because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
That is a pretty solid one. Something like that. We had a bunch of really good ideas, but they're all like, we had one where it's like a tight pull in. It's just like they're playing normally, right? And you just back up a little bit, and it's like, is that like a wooden floor? And then you back up a little more, and they're like in the middle of like a dodgeball game, and they're just getting fucking like smacked out of nowhere. Yeah, right. And it's just like, because for an ad, it just needs to be funny. In 10 seconds, you're not going to be able to really sell anything beyond the humor.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Like,
that's why intrigue to make it click. Yeah.
Yeah. And, I mean, that's the whole.
So I think you need to lean into the social aspect of your card game, because that's the win, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah,
100%. Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah, he just. Yeah.
So here's our question as we get close to ending this.
Yeah.
Sure.
What is your pitch to the person, like whoever's gonna buy this? Give us your pitch. What's the one thing you want us all to know?
Do you enjoy card games? Do you enjoy roguelikes? Do you enjoy social party games? Do you enjoy games at all? If so, this game is for you. Do you enjoy hanging out with your friends? Do you have friends that enjoy some of those things, but maybe not all of them? If so, this game is also for you. Basically, unless you
do not have friends.
Unless you are if you don't have friends, this game is also for you, because you can play it solo. Once again, the solo experience is good. I made sure that was the thing. One of my good friends loves solo games. That's like his deal. That's what he does. Yeah, right. So I didn't want it to be like something where you can't play it solo. But for like, the healer, like a solo healer play, not gonna be, you know what I mean? Not really where it's at.
Yeah.
Like,
oh, I took damage, I should heal myself.
Yeah.
This game definitely isn't made for that. It's cool that it's there, but that's definitely not the optimal way.
Yeah, the more people, the better. And like I said, hopefully if all goes well and we hit full Kickstarter, that'll be another 3 expansions that we'll have. So it'll ship out with like 400 some.
Nice.
Wow.
And then we'll print it out.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. All that Kickstarter stuff will be unique for the Kickstarter. So the other expansions will still be used outside of it, but like it'll be in its own box. It'll be completely unique.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's literally to summarize. Sorry, forgetting. It's literally for everyone. Like this is for people that don't like traditional, in-depth card games. This is for people that do like traditional. There's enough here for you to be the guy that knows how to like kill it and impress the table. If that's your, if you're that guy that's got to be like the best, like, but you get to do it for the group. And because of how it's played together, because of the co-op, because of the interaction, like there's no bad way to play. Like I've had playtests where I don't say shit. I just let them go, and even people that are playing it wrong, like they're still having fun, so it doesn't matter. Like,
if you don't have fun, that's when you're.
That's the problem. Yeah. At any point you're playing this and you're not enjoying yourself, you can personally call me and be like, "What the hell, man?" Like, You said this was fun.
You just weren't drinking enough. That's all.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, just have a few drinks. Get back to me.
Try it
So
again.
I walked into this interview completely blind. I really had no idea what I was, what we were going to. Be
Yeah, other
seeing.
than seeing a couple
Other
cards,
than
here
seeing
and
a
there.
couple of cards last week, I really had no idea. You've sold me on this game.
Awesome.
See,
Yeah,
I
Easy.
think this sounds absolutely fun, and
No, I appreciate it, man, for sure.
and you and I have so much in common that so this interview for me was
delightful.
absolutely
We're
No,
3
this
for
is-
3 for great games.
absolutely delightful. Yes.
No, this felt like just chatting with some friends. This did not feel like like I even thought about it. I was like, man, should I like get some questions or prepare something? I was like,
Well, see,
nah.
and if you go back and listen to any of our stuff, this is how we like to do.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
checked out quite a bit of the one that you guys sent me originally,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I was like, okay, yeah, nice, open, kind of chill
Yeah.
environment.
There's
Talk about your style.
We're not on 60 minutes.
Yeah, Steve last week put it really nicely how we have a conversation around the game,
Right.
Well, that's
and
what
Yeah.
Games for Board is all about, though,
Yeah.
too. It's not
And-
going over the rules. It's
Yeah.
talking
Right.
the
And
story.
yeah,
of the-
our
when-
podcast is all about the stories that games tell, not so much we don't teach the game
And
in
the
our
fun you
podcast
have.
in our reviews. We just talk about how we feel when we play it, And
Yeah,
your
well, I
game,
mean,
that's what your game's about,
that's all that is exactly what this is about. It's all about enjoying it while you're playing it.
Yeah.
And yeah, for anyone that is interested, right now there is a sign-up subscription list. If you go to partywanted.com, we do have the website. You just can't Google it because I have no SEO optimization. It will not show up if you Google it. But if you type it in, it'll show up immediately. You can sign up for our
That's right.
mailing list. And then hopefully in April, Kickstarter goes live. I
Cool.
hope anyone and everyone checks it out. Yeah, man. Thank you guys so much.
Oh,
All right, guys. Well, hey, seriously, Dan, thank you so much. I know you guys got to go. I don't want to take up too much of your
Yes,
time,
yes.
this was awesome.
but send me the link. I'll be sure to promote it wherever I can. And then
And
Cool,
everything
yeah.
posted midnight to 1 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. So
Yeah,
you'll
it'll be
see it on
Sunday night. It'll be
Monday.
posted.
Yep.
sweet. Yeah. All
All
right.
right.
Again, thank you so much, guys. This was a
Thanks,
lot of fun.
guys.
Yeah, take care.
Have a
Thank
great
you.
night.
See ya.